Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Looks like Sarthak is first one to join here. Sarthak, welcome to the show. My name is Mahesh Chand. I'm founder of CSharpCorner. If you are first time joining me, welcome to the show. If you are joining, if you're a regular visitor, welcome back to the show. As you can see, we are going to talk about some exciting stuff here. Looks like several people have joined us. Welcome to the show. Next, Jeev, good evening. Good evening. We have Vidwan. We have Atul Gupta joining us. Guys, welcome to the show. We will give it a minute and then let everybody join. Today is going to be a very exciting session. Today, we are going to have a lot of people joining us. Izumi joining us. Nishika. Ravi joining us. Welcome to the show, guys. Everybody, this exciting stuff. Let me also try to do this. I know there's a virtual background. I will remove that because I don't like my head shaking. Filmi Dunia, welcome to the show. This is Mahesh Chand, Michael Javier. Hello, welcome to the show, guys. Let's get started. Today, we are going to talk about prompt engineering, and I'm not sure if you guys are already working with prompt engineering, but I am 100% sure all of you are using ChatGPT and other Gen AI tools. In my last show, if you missed the last show, I talked about introduction to Gen AI, generative AI. If you missed that, you can go and watch generative AI show recorded on YouTube, YouTube, CSharpCorner TV, and bunch of other channels. Bruno is joining us from Canada. Bruno, welcome to the show. Vimal, Afran, we have Rohit Gupta joining us. Sensia Ambrose, welcome to the show. Great. This is going to be a good show, guys. A lot of people have joined us from different places. So let's talk about today. We are going to talk about prompt engineering. This is one of the skills everybody today, everyone must learn, regardless of you are a computer science programmer or developer or even just a business person or trying to build your own thing. What we will talk in this show today is we are going to cover, let's look at today we will talk about, make the full screen here. We'll talk about, I think we already discussed generative AI, so not too much time, little overview on Gen AI. We'll talk about a little bit LLMs, and then we will focus on prompt engineering. What is prompt engineering? Why prompt engineering matters today? That's the key point here. Different prompt examples we will look at, what are different core principles, and we will see some demos, hands-on demos, how to write good prompts. And then we'll do Q&A. So in the end, we will do Q&A. So have your questions ready. So let's get this started. But before I go there, guys, I want to tell you something that if you look at today, if you are in a computer science major, or you are graduating, or you plan to be graduate in a couple of years, your first year, second year, doesn't matter, or you are an engineering or software developer already building applications and code, prompt engineering is something you will need. And this is one of the fastest growing jobs in demand today. So this will also add to your skill set today. After this show, you will learn more about this and how do you get better at it. Brief, we already talked about Gen AI. Gen AI is generative AI. I'm not going to spend much time on this today. So what is generative AI? Is AI, it's a part of AI. It's one of the subsets of AI that focuses on generating new content. And generative AI usually text content, but then there's you can generate text, generate images, videos, you can make songs, music, all those things. They all come under generative AI. Some of the products you're already using, ChatGPT, Copilot, Midjourney, Sora, they all come under generative AI. In generative AI, the brain behind generative AI is this something called LLM, large language model. And there are a bunch of large language models, okay? And we talked this a little bit, but by next episode, in my coming time episodes, I will focus one episode just on LLMs. I will talk about what is LLM, what's behind the scene, how the LLM look like when you look at the from the technology and architecture perspective, how to even build your LLM. We will discuss all that in coming time. Today's focus is prompt engineering. So when prompt engineer, you think of there are three parts of this AI. We are talking about generative AI. One is input, and there's something called LLM, and then output. So when you go to ChatGPT and say, hey, create an email, or you go to Midjourney or Copilot and say, create an image or create a logo, that's your input. Then Gen AI does LLMs and that does some stuff and then generates some output, and output is your what you asked for. So the all magic happens in this product. It's think of like a computer programs, bunch of programs, so I'll explain you more. They look at the prompt, they do the processing and all that, and they create the content, which is text, which could be, you can just take, for example, draw a cat. When you say draw a cat, it's input. LLMs take that, understand what you're trying to do, it creates the image and it spits out the image that looks like a cat. Right? That makes sense. So LLM is the thing here. It's called large language model. And this is the brain behind all Gen AI tools such as ChatGPT. So there's going to be a following show just on a LLM, and that's going to be a big one because this is a little complex topics, understanding LLMs. I'm sure some of you have already read and learned about this. So let's come to the topic today. Today's topic is prompt engineering. So what is prompt engineering? In simple terms, prompt engineering is this craft or this art or this the way you create these prompts, the way you ask a question to a tool like ChatGPT. That is called prompt engineering. Prompt engineering not really engineering. It's not really something where you have to do with the hands and you have to build something. It's really building the prompt. Prompt engineering is creating the prompt, building the prompt. Right? So the input Gen AI needs, how you craft that is prompt engineering. And learning the skill of that, creating the crafting that prompt is the key to get most out of these AI tools. So it's literally an art, the way you craft that. So in other words, prompt engineering like asking AI a smart question. Smarter the question, better output you will get. So like you have to become smart to even ask the question. That's what really prompt engineering is all about. You can ask general question, right? You can just go and say, hey, generate image of cat. Yeah, I will go and generate a cat. But what if you want a black cat? What if you want a specific kind of cat? What if you want a 3-year-old cat? So all those combined. What if your cat is wearing a hat? Something. So learning the craft of this whole prompting or this creating this input that your AI would understand, that the AI would understand, that is prompt engineering. Guys, keep asking questions, get your questions ready, because what I do is in these shows, if you're joining me first time, I go through these concepts and these ideas and demo some things, but then I more focus on questions and I want to make sure I answer most of your questions. Questions can be about this topic, prompt engineering. Question can be about the jobs. Question can be about career or anything you have, anything about AI. Today, we will focus on prompt engineering. So let those questions coming. In the end of this, after 10 or 20, 15 minutes or so, we will just take your questions. So hopefully now you understand what prompt engineering is. Pretty simple. The art of crafting the input that Gen AI needs to generate perfect output for you, that is called prompt engineering. And you can decide the way you want your own definition. I create my own definitions all the time. So this show is brought to you by SharpToken. If you guys are not familiar with SharpToken, I really want you to check out this. Check out a website called sharpeconomy.org. It is a reward token for communities like CSharpCorner. Many of you are member of C Sharp Corner. So what does that mean, being a member of C Sharp Corner? If anything you do on the site, you say you are learning something, you are going to earn tokens. You are sharing something, you are posting something, you are speaking, you are even watching this show today. Eventually, you're going to start earning tokens for any involvement with the community. You're asking a question, you're replying a posting a question, you're sharing your code on C Sharp Corner. So check out CSharpCorner.com, and we also have bounties on there. Now you can earn bounties. Well, it's free. Like, you just start participating. There's a bounty where you can win cash prize, you can win tokens. There's an app called Sharp Rewards app. You go to this app store, Google or Apple App Store, and search for Sharp Rewards. Download this app. In this app, you can earn these tokens free every day by doing some stake skills challenges, by being healthy, walking. There are different ways to earn those tokens. Check it out. And if you are in the crypto, guys, and you say, you know what, I like Sharp token, I want to buy it, it's available on two exchanges, CoinStore and Bitmart. So check it out. Any questions, feel free to reach out to us on C Sharp Corner as well. All right. So let's back to this prompt engineering. So I hope you know what prompt engineering by now. If you still have confusion, just ask your questions. And I'm not watching your questions right now because I want to first finish my talk, and then I will go through these questions. So why prompt engineer matters today, like right now? So the important part here is, the reason is prompt engineering matter is that because, and I'll give you an example, right? So if you go to, even at your home, right? Your home, and you have a cook, a lot of people have cook at home. I think every time I go, there's several cooks at home. Morning cook is different, evening is different, right? So if you tell a cook, make me food, just simple say, make me food. What does that mean? She doesn't know what to cook. When she'll make whatever food, and they'll say, oh, I don't like this food, can you make again? So that's one instruction that you're giving to your cook, is make you food. Second is, can you could put cauliflower, potato, and this much, and put this, this much spice, make it medium spicy. Sometimes when you go to a high-end restaurant, they will ask you, oh, what do you want exactly? How you want, medium spicy, low spicy, all those things. More details you tell, better food you will get, right? That's what it is, simple. Think about a web developer. If you're a web developer, or you are designing a website, and client comes to you and says, create me a website. What does that mean really? That means nothing. It's like you just create whatever website. Okay, you create a web page with whatever. But client will say, create me a website that will have a user registration. There's a landing page where they will learn about my product. Product is all about selling cups. And you should also put 4 pictures of my cups. These are the pictures. Can you upload them? And then talk about details, what the pricing is. So more details you tell to a developer, they will come prepared and build the website or design the website the way you want it. So that's kind of difference here. Do you see the difference? The simple way detail the requirements are better software you will get developed by the team, because now they are more clear on the requirement. This is the same exact way AI works. When you're talking to all these Gen AI tools like ChatGPT or Copilot, better requirements you have, which is called prompt in this case, better output, desired output you will get. So that's exactly what it is. That's very important to learn prompt engineering, because better you are at that, more details you provide, more understand how Gen AI is thinking, better you can ask the question, craft the question, better and faster results you will get. That makes sense? So simple words, look at these things. Like, if you AI models, the thing with AI models is that they're not smart, they are dumb. Okay, they don't think what you really want. They don't know, because they can see you, they can talk to you, they don't see your expressions. So they only know what you're typing there. So more details you provide in your input prompt, better results they will get you. Okay, so these are some of the benefits, right? So better results from same AI, Like I can ask same question and you can ask same question in different ways. Is the same AI, but because your prompt was better, your results maybe will be better. It saves time, right? It saves time. If you already know everything in details, it will save everybody time. And there's less work behind the scene with AI. Why? Because if you don't get desired output, you're going to ask again, and then AI have to do work again. You can also control the format, the kind of output format you want, what style you want, what tone you want. You can even tell AI that, oh, write me a poem, or write me a joke, or write an email which is funny, or which is friendly, or which is professional. You can have these different tones, right? You can have all those details. In this, we will talk in my following, talks. We'll cover a little bit here today. That's what really prompt engineering means: understanding how LLMs work and what they expect and how to get them desired output from them. And then you can also avoid mistakes, because some LLMs sometimes they can make mistakes too. So by giving them these good instructions, the prompt, you can also avoid these mistakes. And less costly. So keep in mind, when you ask anything to do with LLMs, there's a cost involved. Not only time, not only your time, not only machine's time, but every time you say something, the input goes to these machines, LLMs. For example, OpenAI GPT-4, it has trillions of parameters. Now it's processing a lot of things. There was a research came out that by just saying hello in the beginning of your sentence, of asking questions to ChatGPT, cost them millions of dollars each month. Can you imagine that? So this is exactly what I'm talking about, is crafting the prompt. And that's where we are going to be really get into more details in this episode and upcoming following episode as well. I hope you're learning something. I hope I'm clarifying and explaining this very simple way. And if you are still not confused and don't know, just ask questions. Okay, I will take your questions in that. So let's take examples. These are the two examples of prompt here, so you can understand better. Let's say I want to write a blog about electric cars, right? Say I want to write a blog about electric cars. I go to ChatGPT and say write about electric cars. That's one prompt. Now it will write whatever, and we will see some examples in the end when I do demo, right? But in the second part, you can say, oh, write a 3-paragraph blog introductions about the benefit of cars for city drivers, including point of cost saving, blah blah blah. Oh, take an example as Tesla. More you give, now AI is thinking and giving you the desired output. So that's exactly what prompt engineering is all about. Second example, let's say write an email. You want to write an email to a customer about who's asking about pricing. So one thing is you can have a general saying, write an email about pricing. So it will write just generic answer. But you can be specific, write a friendly follow-up email to a customer who asked about our car pricing. This is our website. These are the pricing. There are 3 different models. And they ask them to schedule a call. This is the URL. Now, ChatGPT is going to craft this complete email, which will have all these details. So the second prompt is the prompt you want to write. Okay, so hopefully you learn what is prompt engineering and why it's important and what is the difference between a weak prompt and a strong prompt, right? Now let's think about core principles. There are some core principles when you're writing good prompt. And these are simple terms, and I'm going to do more details in my following show, but this is very simple. Everybody can understand. So one thing you want to be with AI is that you want to be very specific but direct. Don't be too formal. Don't write that good morning, blah, blah. Just be straightforward. And if one example is here, help me with authentication. That's good. It's direct, but it's not very specific. So authentication can be multiple kinds, different ways. What does that mean? Or you can just be specific. You are a programmer saying, create a JW2 middleware function for Express.js that validates tokens, extracts user ID, blah, 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 all those things. So that's simple. You are being specific and also direct. So now the output is you are going to get is from the AI is very specific as well. So you need to think AI as your coworker, somebody who knows a lot, who can do a lot of work for you, but they're not smart enough to think about themselves, like what exactly you want. But they will do, but if you give them more detailed instructions, they will do a lot for you. They have this unlimited knowledge. They have knowledge of anything. You can also tell them to go and learn these things. It can learn if it doesn't know all that. So that's how you have to think. Use the right keyword. Second point number two here is use the right keyword. How can I improve my code? That's one way to say. Other one is, what are the effective strategies to optimize this Python function for performance and readability? So, right. So this is I'm using the right keyword. What exactly I'm trying to do, rather than just saying improvement, I'm saying, look at this file. First, you can also optimize, or tell me how to optimize it. And actually, it will optimize for you. Third principle is provide context. And context is very important. Let AI know where you're coming from, what you're working on. So it knows a little bit background rather than just randomly asking the questions, right? You can also say, oh, I'm working on this existing project that's written in C#8. I wrote that 3 years ago. It also uses ASP.NET. It doesn't use ASP.NET Core. So when you are asking that specific question and providing the context and background, now it start thinking like you, and it start thinking like your project, start thinking of your work, right? So another example is, you can also give a background that act like a, if you are, let's say you are a project manager, you can say act like a project manager who's a leading team of 12 people and blah blah. So more you give the context and the background, better AI would relate that to its answers when it's crafting, because it's going back to its large language model and going to look at all the examples it has related to those people, project manager in this case. So these are 6 principles. I have 3 principles. Is one is specific and direct. Second is use the right keyword. Third is provide context. Fourth is, okay, look, my slides are messed up. Fourth is ask the format. You can also tell AI what format you want, right? You can just say, oh, explain this algorithm, or you can say, explain this algorithm as a step-by-step tutorial with code example and complexity analysis. So you can literally ask what kind of output you want from the AI. And then the format. You can also tell as a tone, right? This is break down complex questions. So if you have this complex question, try to break it down into a step by step, so it can easily understand. It's like sometimes you're talking to, like, assistant. Sometimes you can say these things in a big long sentence, or you can just say, first do this, after that I want you to do this, then can you do that, all those things. So break down, if you have a complex question, break down into those so it can understand better. So here's an example, right? Build me a web application. Web application can be very complex, right? What does that mean? It could be a web application doing different things, or you can say, first start a database schema with a user management table. What tables relationships would you recommend? You start with that, review that, change that. Then you ask for another table. So you can do all that, or you can just say, build me a website with users in it. Then it will just come up with its own idea and come up with its own tables, come up with the fields, and then it's just going to create. And changing that is a hard part for you. So when you are building these complex products using Gen AI, so by the way, today, as we are speaking right now, you don't have to write a code to build a complex website. You can just use Gen AI tools, and it will build the entire website. It will build your database, it will build your API, it will build your front end, it will build your business logic without writing code. It can all do that, but you have to just know how to talk to it and how to do this step by step, like how you would do with any assistant programmers and DBAs and, backend developers. This is kind of, you can tell AI sometimes become a DBA, build your database. It can also become your backend developer, write your APIs and backend logic. It can also build your front end. So now you have all these developers at your disposal. AI can act like whatever you want it to be. And then last thing is set the right persona and tone. Those are important. Persona means when you are asking a prompt, you can specifically, unless it's a general prompt, you will say, oh, I'm a business manager running a car agency. We sell new cars. So now AI is going to write the output. Output will come that anybody who's car manager and sitting and blah blah. That's how in case say you are a software architect, then you will say act as a senior software architect. If you are a student, you can say act as a student, right? And create a letter, internship letter. You can do this is how you to explain, and you can also say tone. If tone doesn't apply, so you have to think, guy, the six all these things I'm saying, some may not apply to other some questions, so you don't have to force it. Okay. So if you're asking what is capital of India, you just say it's the capital of India. Simple question. You don't need tone, you don't need all that, right? So you have to always make that decision. Not all these applies, all these principles apply in every prompt. Okay, hopefully, you guys learned something. So quickly, what are the different core principles of good prompting? One is be specific and direct, use the right keywords, provide context, explain the format you want, break down complex questions to smaller tasks, and set the right persona and tone. So I can show you live demo now, but I think most of you already know how to do this. You can literally go and type in ChatGPT because I'm going to otherwise use the screen. And if you say write an email, it will write just whatever email. Then, or you can say specific, write an email, do this, do this. If you want, maybe I can quickly show you. Wonder if I can share my screen. Share my screen. Let's see. Share screen. I'll say entire window. It's okay. I should be sharing my screen now. So let me quick open here. Go to ChatGPT. And I'll say write an email, right? We'll just take an example. It will just write whatever email, right? Okay, now it will first ask all these things. Good, it's getting smarter these days. It's already asking. So now I can say, I am a bank manager writing an email to a customer who is late on his payments in monthly payment. Be friendly and also let him know if there are any problems we can help with the payment, and even remove this month from his notice. Whatever, you get the idea. Now you can also say what is the bank, what is he, like this exactly what it says, right? So it wrote a very detailed output. And more prompt engineering is something you have to practice, and more you practice, next time better you get at it. Right now you may say, okay, I should have done that. So that's called iteration. Iteration is also a big part of prompt engineering. Writing good prompts, you can learn from that. But it's better to come up with this in the first, because now you are only sending one prompt to AI. If you send multiple prompts and keep sending them back and forth, not only is it going to take you more time, but it's going to cost a lot behind the scene. Every time you are sending this input text, there's machines running, a lot of computers running behind the scene, right? So you don't want to waste the processing power and time, and also gets costly. So this gives you an idea. So let's get back to our screen now. Before we go to the questions, looks like there's a lot of questions coming up. We will quickly talk about again. Thank you again for Sharp Token. Check it out. Don't forget, guys. This is something we are building as a reward for CSharpCorner. So, man, that means if you're watching this show in coming time, you will actually get Sharp Token rewards. If you are contributing anything on CSharpCorner, you will get these rewards. So we are working on that. Check it out. Then I have two more announcements for coming weeks. So next week, I'm going to focus on mastering AI prompts. I have created this framework called Recast Framework. It's a simple way for you to learn and remember the prompting. Okay. It's called recast framework. R is for something, E for something, all those content. So that's where I will talk. So next week we will dig down into more examples, hands-on, different kind of complex prompts. We will do all that work and look at the different outputs, how different they are. That will be next week. And then following week, so this is my recast framework quickly, just to give you the role. You have to create as a role, who you role, example, context, actions, structure, tone. So I call it recast framework. It's the same thing we should talk, but it's kind of puts you in framework and structure, and you will remember this easily every time you are building these, complex applications. And then following week, we will talk about advanced prompt engineering techniques. So there's one shot, few shot. There's multiple advanced techniques as well that will come. And then following week, I'll also then focus on LLMs inside. We'll go inside the LLMs, how LLMs work, how they store the data, relationships and all, and how you can even start building your LLM. So we'll go more into that coming weeks. With that said, guys, let's take some questions now. I think we are good on timing. Went a little bit longer than I thought. But yeah, let's take some questions, and then looks like a lot of questions we got. Let me make the screen big for a second. How can students or beginner build a career in prompt engineering? Are there any specific tools or platform we should master? Great question, Vidwan. I think the easiest way to learn prompt engineering is start with a simple training, or there are courses out there online as well. Watch this show. You already watched this show. You hopefully learn a little bit. But the future is prompt engineering, regardless of what you are. You can be a computer science major, you can be a software engineer, you can be a business owner, you can be anybody. Prompting is everybody should know. And if you are technical, you should be more in depth into prompt engineering. So we also on CSharpCorner, we are launching a course for you guys, especially there are two courses. One is for students, another one is for experienced developers, and one is for engineering teams. These courses will be announced next week on CSharpCorner. So you guys have already registered. We will send you the details if you want to register on those courses. Let's take another question. How these companies using prompt engineering in their workflow today? So this is a great question, Kushi. Every company is now integrating AI into their business processes. And when you integrate AI, their team needs to know how to build these prompts and how to craft the prompt. Give you an example. I have a friend, at Amazon. They said all they talk about all day is Gen AI, and Gen AI relies on prompt engineering. Prompt engineering, the key to work and get more productive. It's like programming, right? If you are getting hired by a company, if you are a good programmer and you know a lot of commands, you can build things faster rather than learning and copying and searching and all. Same thing with prompt engineering. More you want to get out of Gen AI and faster, better you are at prompt engineering, more you will get there, more productive you'll become. Great questions, guys. Keep coming those questions. Sarthak has a question. As large language model keeps evolving, do you think prompt engineering will become essential for everybody working with AI tools? And how can beginners start learning and write better prompts in LLMs? Yeah, that's 100%. 100% prompt engineering will become a skill everybody would need, especially in the tech space. Okay. The way is better prompts is, again, as I said, watch these shows like this, like my framework will explain more. And then we are also launching a training as well. And there's YouTube has a lot of stuff, sometimes hard to find things on YouTube. So that's why we are creating these specific courses where anybody can go and learn this. All right, let's take more questions. The question, if ChatGPT eventually gives the right answer after a few tries, then why do we need prompt engineering? Isn't that just trial and error? So that is correct. It will give you right answers. But again, as I said, more prompt you give it to, more costly it'll become. Okay. So after some times, what will happen is if you ask this question 100 times, ChatGPT will say that you have reached your limits. Now you have to pay me, because Right now everything is free, but that's companies are not going to continue to give people free stuff. When a lot of things launch in the beginning, they are free, because end of the day it's costing company money. Every time you ask a question, it's costing them money. So less questions you ask, and how do you become less question is more. It's like different. Less mistake it will make. It's like cook. Like you have a cook, and you tell them, just say, "Oh, can you go and cook this thing?" They'll cook. They're like, "This is not good. Redo it again." So it's like process. It takes time, and they are spending resources. You may not realize right now. If when you use Chat GPT, you may not realize, but behind the scene, there's a lot of process goes on when you ask a question. More questions you ask, more cost it's going to be. And eventually, like right now, I use Copilot to make images. Okay, I go to Copilot, you can make images, but it will let you only create few free images per day. After 3 4 5 images, it says, oh, your limit per day is gone, now you have to become a paid member. So now I have to pay for that. So that's the reason. That's the reason. And companies don't have time to mess around with different prompts, because now you are taking more time, and company will say, why is taking so much time? It should be done in like few minutes. So funny thing is, 6 months or a year ago, when there was a new project, coming to companies, they will say, oh, can you estimate me? And estimates will be, it will take us that many months, that many weeks. Now new requirements come, it says how many hours and minutes it will take you using Gen AI. So that's what matters. Time is the important part here. And because time and processing, that's why chat and prompt engineering becomes very important skill. Okay, next question. Um, if I close the tab and clear chat, the chat GPT keep what I said. It will depends on that. I think it depends on, if you tell it to remember, it can remember. There's also settings can keep your, if you go to chat GPT, it can keep your context, it can keep your history as well. So yeah. So question is, next, you ask, what daily habits or exercise would you recommend to improve our prompt writing skills? It's simple. It's practice, learning more, watching shows like this, watching more things on YouTube or anywhere you can find. And it's really putting time in there. There's no secret formula, right? Only secret formula is keep doing this more, learning more words. Another thing you can do is you can look at some of these popular chat prompts, how people are crafting these prompts. So some of these, talking to more, and see if they are giving you the right output you want. And see, if you go to a bunch of these platforms now, will show you existing prompt and what people are creating. So ChatGPT now have something called Sora, right? This OpenAI has a platform, Sora. Sora creates images and videos for you. So you go to Sora, you can see all the sample prompts and see what output they have created. Sometimes, do you see, you are on Instagram, sometimes you're on Instagram and you'll see, oh, somebody has created amazing videos using AI, somebody's bird is flying, all those. You can even input that in some of these tools and say, can you create a prompt for me? And then you learn from that what kind of prompt they're creating. So that's how you can do, you can get better at it. It's really spending more time on it. Next question is, let's take another question here, guys. How do I make the best use of features like deep search in ChatGPT for tasks like project research, which can only be used 5x a week, I believe? Yes. So the limitations, right? The deep research has limitations. And the reason it has limitations, keep in mind, is that every time you ask a question in deep research mode, it is a lot of more work research is doing for you. The answer it doesn't have, it is going to go to millions of parameters, go into the neural network, look for more things, search from data. It has to do more work. So rather than, and right now they're giving you all this free, but in coming time, everything will become paid. I can tell you for that. Remember when Gmail used to be free, you can just get a Gmail, you can do so much free space. And then over the time, they're like, okay, now you have to pay. Now you got stuck there. So this will happen also with these tools. So answer to your Abhishek, to your question is you have to think like, do I really need a deep search for that? Because something can be just general. If it's a general question and general answer, you're fine with that. But something that cannot be found more specifically, like you're doing a research that's not available everywhere else, then you want to use it. So you got to use smart with that. Um, yeah, so yeah, ChatGPT Pro is it's not I wouldn't say yes, answer is yes. It's I wouldn't say accurate answer. Depends on the topic and the question you're asking or work you're asking it to do, but it has more features. For example, in ChatGPT Pro, you can create these tasks. It can do things for you, like agent. It can act an agent. So I can go to ChatGPT Pro and I can create a task saying, hey, ChatGPT, every morning, 9 a.m., go do the research and give me all the latest news on generative AI and send it to my this email. So I have already done that. Let me see if I can show you. Share my screen again. Let me share my screen quick. Okay, it may take more time to share and show you, but yeah, in pro mode, there is something called I can go to this tasks and I can create a task. I did already, by the way. What I did is I said every morning, 9 a.m., find all the AI news, all generative AI news, also news from this company, and curate all that and send this to my email. Now, every day, 9 a.m., I automatically in my email, I get all those AI news. Okay. I can connect all this to my other, you can even connect to your, I connected that to my email. Slowly what happens is these tools become more advanced and they will say, oh, and you can do this using other tools ChatGPT doesn't do right now, but ChatGPT now also can connect you with your Outlook. It can say, you can say, create a task that every morning read my, no, every evening read my emails, find me all the emails that are sales related, and make a summary and send this to my teams and reply this or send this to this person who can look at them. So you can do all those kind of stuff, and that's where future is going. The future is going. There's going to be a lot of AI agents developed for doing different tasks, and we are all going to start using those agents. So when you think about jobs, future jobs, where the future jobs are, building those agents, maintaining those agents, creating the LLMs, creating the data. In future, what will also happen is there's going to be these SLM, small language models, or between SLM and LLM, focused on different industry, focused on different company, focus on different people, right? For example, on CSharpCorner, we are building right now SLM for our user base only. So ChatGPT doesn't know about that, but our model knows about it. So if you go to CSharpCorner and ask a question about, oh, how many users in this episode ask questions about ChatGPT? Now we have that data. That's not public data. We are not sharing this data with OpenAI. So same thing will happen is if you want to go to a bank and ask, bank may build their own chat, right? Chat app. They will bring their chat app where it will say, it will, you say, oh, what is my balance? Obviously this you can build easily chat GPT, that what's your balance, using any API. For the bot framework you can build your own bot, chatbot, but it's not AI. It you now in future bank can build its own language model, and that language model only works for the bank data and answers to the bank customers through a chatbot, right? Things like that. So that's where the future is more coming. So in future we will be talking to more these apps through either voice command, through our phone, through our devices, rather than logging to an online website and looking at my balance and transferring fund. In future I can talk to my phone app. Bank has a phone app or an agent where I'll tell my bank, hey, can you transfer 100 rupees or $100 to this person from my account, and this is their phone number, and it will do it right there. So that's where the future is going. And that's why learning these prompt techniques are important, because they will become part of your software when you're building these agents. Because if you don't understand this part, it'll be hard for you to build and understand the users. Okay, so next question. Michael has a question. What are the best ways to structure prompts and get better response? So, Michael, I have two more episodes on that where we will go into more depth. Next Saturday, we will talk about that exactly. What are how to structure your prompts, right? And then those next two episodes will focus on the week after, we'll focus on advanced prompt techniques, like how do you advance, because simple questions are simple questions, but there will be time where you have these complex questions for business related, and that's when you will need these advanced prompt techniques. Okay, guys, we have a few more minutes. Is there any more questions? Great job. Everybody looks like a lot of people are hanging out with us and watching the show. This is great. Any more questions, Deepak, we have? Or thank you. Appreciate it, everybody. Thank you so much. If we don't have any questions, we can close it, but this was great. So shades of hope every day asks, there are different AIs and all give different answers, even with prompt engineering. So which ones should we trust? That's a great question. Remember, AI is as good as your data, right? So all these different companies made different LLMs. LLM is where all the data is, right? And how are these LLMs created? And what happened when OpenAI and these companies, they stole all the data. I wouldn't say stole, they copied, which is almost like stealing without asking me, right? They took my articles from CSharpCorner. They took all our articles content. They copied all those articles. They copied code samples in their database. Then they work. That's when I talk about LLMs, you will understand more details how they build the LLMs. So because they took data from different places, they put data in different formats. Their engineers were different. Some have their own data, and that's why the outputs are different. You will not find same output, even same. What other thing is that when LLM, the way they work, they create new content every time you ask a question. They don't copy content, they don't use existing content, even though they have copied the data from different websites, different books. But they don't copy the data as it is. It's not a database, it's not a search. So what they do is they look at all the context and all that, and LLM create this new content every time you ask a question. And that's why cost is big deal here, right? OpenAI is paying hundreds of millions of dollars every month, not every year, hundreds of millions of dollars every month to just run these LLMs. And that's like a billions of dollars every month. So they need to make all this money back. And that's why their, responses are different. It's like, imagine you have four people and you ask them same question, you will get different answers. It's no different than that because they know more different knowledge, right? If you ask somebody about, what is Taj Mahal in UP, they will have a different answer. I mean, not that's a simple question. Answer is same. It's a building, blah blah. But if you ask more questions, everybody will answer different because based on what data they know, what knowledge they have. It's simple as that. Okay, guys, this was great. Everybody, thank you for hanging out with me this Saturday. I hope you learned something today. I hope you learned a little bit more than what you knew yesterday. So, yeah, if you want to continue to learn more about prompt engineering, LLMs, all these kind of tools, uh, just join us, continue watching us on C Sharp Corner. Every week we are coming. So, next week we will focus on another prompting framework, and then following week how to learn advanced prompting techniques. Follow us, let your friends know if you like it, and also don't forget to join and check out C Sharp Corner, where we are going to integrate this tokenization very soon and start learning these tokens. I will see you next week, same time.